Guys, it's Intuitive 144. I'm a psychic medium along with being a physical medium. If you're interested in booking me, $20 for a picture reading, $50 for a 30-minute reading, and $100 for an hour. I'm a little out of my comfort zone, but it is hot and I am going out, so this is what I'm wearing. All right, but I'm going to be reading for Frankie Lymon. I hope I pronounced his last name wrong. All right, so anytime I say I meditate on somebody's energy, I lay down and I wait for images to float or for spirits, to speak to me in regards of the person, even though they're always speaking to me, right? And sometimes these images can take up to 5 minutes to like 5 days. All right, there are a lot of times where I have to go back, finish it another day because sometimes I cannot connect with the person that I'm trying to channel. All right, so Frankie Lymon. Frankie Lymon. All right, let's get started. So I have a few notes. I wrote colorism/racism led to his destruction. All right. He has had a lot of thoughts about bleaching his skin or something with wishing he was a white man. And I could understand. Do I agree? No, but I can understand why a lot of people had that mindset back then. I wrote, he hated being the short black kid. And the reason why I say this is because in almost every vision, they show me someone making fun of his height. Okay. And he was unfortunately often told that he was ugly. All right. So this session was all over the place. Usually most of my sessions are, you kind of got to put pieces together, right? So the meditation switched and I wrote, he was offered pennies to sing songs and he took it because he didn't know any better. Then Spirit showed me a vision of his management team and his parents didn't even read the contract. They just signed it. Like they literally just signed it. It felt like, and I feel like this was done on purpose. Either management assumed that they wouldn't understand, or it's something with his parents didn't read well, or maybe they purposely used a lot of high vocabulary words. It's something of that, because they're showing me a vision right now of his mom trying to read the contract, but she's confused. But it's like she's struggling to read the contract, so maybe she couldn't really read well, something like that, right? So then the vision switched. I wrote, they're showing me a vision of, sometimes I can't read my own handwriting. They're showing me a vision of a Caucasian male injecting, and this was towards, towards his introduction to fame, or maybe a few months after he was famous. I wrote, they're showing me a vision of a Caucasian male injecting a needle in his arm. And Frankie asks him, what is that? And the white man responds, this right here will solve all of your problems. And that, unfortunately, was heroin that they showed me in the vision. Now, I wrote, I don't feel like he turned to drugs due to depression. It was more so of curiosity. And unfortunately, that being curious, consumed him. Drugs consumed him, because they allowed me to see that one drug led to another. Please ignore my... Unfortunately, I told her I'm doing a video. She said okay, and then she's screaming, nobody respects me in this house. I just gotta get out when it's time. And it's just... Anyways, I do not feel like he turned to drugs due to depression. It was more so of curiosity, and unfortunately, that curiosity consumed him. One drug led to another. However, it felt great to him. All right, and usually drugs feel great to people, right? It feels like at one point his management was giving him drugs as a payment. Like, here, sniff this, go on stage and get high. And then, as they showed me that vision, I heard a spirit say, but it was obviously a spirit, but it was one of those masculines that were with him. I heard them saying anything to keep him singing. So it's really unfortunate. Then the vision switched again. Trigger warning, I'm going to talk about pedophilia a little bit, but I wrote some pedophilia was happening slash some pedophilia, something with pedophilia was happening around him, with him. I don't know, something like, not he liked, well, he was a kid, but it's something with, so I wrote, someone or a group of people like were obsessed with children looking like adults, and it was a weird fantasy. It feels like someone, I don't know, they're not making that makes sense to me, but it's something with pedophilia, right? And unfortunately, sexual assault did come up for him, all right? Then the vision switched again. And throughout all of these visions, I wrote, he has a very childlike presence. It feels like even though he, experienced being an adult, let's say he's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, it was as if his inner child was more present than his what is supposed to be mature self. I mean, most 23-year-olds, 24-year-olds aren't, well, I'm 24. I consider myself to be mature, but that's not most of us, right? But it's something with, I don't want to say immature as in like you're a jerk, like ill, like he's immature, I would never date him, but immaturity as in kind of similar to Michael Jackson, how he had a childlike presence, and with him, like, doing things or wanting to do things that kids would usually have interest in. It's because he didn't have a childhood. So it's something with he came across as a kid, but not like, ew, I can't date you, you're a kid. But it's something with his inner child represented more than his 24, 25, 23, 22-year-old self, if that makes sense. Then Spirit gave me another vision. All right, so in the vision, so I wrote, his management team lied and stole from him. They showed me a vision of his manager saying, go out there and sing, and by the time you get off stage, I'll give you, $300, or $300 will be at, in the back. So after Frankie gets off the stage, he is immediately disappointed because he goes to the back and he sees that it's $40. And it feels like, obviously he was cheated, but it felt like in the I'm about to say dream, in the vision, it felt like he tried to speak up for himself, but every time I say this, they keep showing me someone that's like 8 feet and he's 2 feet. So it's just feeling overpowered, feeling powerless, so a lot of times he wasn't really taken seriously. And then I wrote, he allowed this to happen because not only this has happened a lot of times, but it feels like this was his only form of payment. Like this was the only way for him to make money. So he kind of just allowed that to happen. And then there's like some slight depression with, maybe treatment from management, treatment from the public. And I can definitely see whenever he was sad or just, it's mostly like, I don't feel like he experienced being angry a lot. It was more so disappointment, like wanting better for himself and feeling cheated, feeling unheard. And I feel like that caused him to inject more, and sniff more. Okay. Now leading to his demise, they showed me a vision of, as soon as he injects, like immediately his breath starts, leaving his body, and then he turns over and then he falls on the floor. And it's something with he's watching himself die. You know when people say my life flashed before my eyes, it was kind of like that for him. And then like as he's, falling on the floor, he's like, oh my gosh, you could die from this. So this just once again shows his, that's my chair, guys. This once again just shows his childlike energy. This is really interesting, and this makes a lot of sense. Like back then, coke, crack, heroin was a thing. It was a popular thing. Like, yes, inject heroin, yes, sniff a little coke. I don't really feel like they were looking at it as, oh my gosh, you can die from this, because as he hits the ground, he says in his head, oh my God, you can die from this. So he knew he was dying or, getting ready to go, but he had no idea that you can die from heroin. So once again, that just speaks on his, lack of maturity, but not in a bad way. Like he was but that is all that I have for Frankie Lymon. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. But yeah, that's all that I have. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for the support, the likes. I really do appreciate it. The revolutionary in me is a little disappointed that George Washington Carver didn't get a lot of views like Mary J. Blige, but that's okay. All right, $20 for a picture reading, $50 for a 30-minute reading, and $100 for an hour. I do want to say I'm getting rid of the $20 picture readings for two reasons. I'd rather be more intimate with my clients, like, see you and I. It doesn't really stop the messages, but they're like, as of recently, I've had to, schedule a Zoom call for 2 people because the picture reading just wasn't enough. And I'm just like, there's this one client, and I'm not gonna go into depth because I need to treat this as if like I'm a therapist, right? Everybody's confidential. But she asks me, hey, can we schedule for the $50 Zoom reading? I'm like, absolutely. What time? A few hours later, hey, I was wondering if we could do the $20 picture reading. Absolutely. Send me a picture of yourself, send the payment. Actually, I was wondering, when are you gonna do free readings again? I'm like, well, not right now. I'm locked and loaded with a couple of clients. She goes, okay, is it possible if I can just send you $10 and you just don't write as many messages as you would for the $20? And I don't like stuff like that. I don't like stuff like that because it's like, would you go into Sephora? Would you go into Nike and say, hey, I want, some sneakers, but I only have $50. Like, it's like, no, like, don't treat me like that. Like, I don't like cheap people. I really don't. Like, okay, I'm cheap. No, I could be frugal sometimes, when it comes to like using coupons. Okay, yeah. But being cheap to someone, like, that really bothers me. And I ended up telling her like, it's okay, mama, keep your $10. And stuff like that makes me not want to read for you at all, because why are you low bargaining me? Like, I don't know, I don't appreciate stuff like that. I don't like that. And I am going to be raising my prices. I'm still a small channel. It has nothing to do with my gift, but I'm just like, you know what? I think I'm going to be getting rid of the $20 picture readings, because that kind of eliminates, how can I say this without sounding ignorant? That kind of eliminates the penny pincher people. Like, does that make sense? I don't know. But I just don't appreciate stuff like that. I would never, want someone to feel like, let me give her let me give her, a little bit, knowing that I have a lot. Like, you get what I'm saying? Because if your man hits you up asking for $50, you would send it to him without any hesitation. You get what I'm saying? When it's time for you to buy weed and you go to your weed man and he say this, that, and I don't smoke, but this and that is $100, you give it up with no problem. Don't do that to me. I don't like that, because you will get banned. You will be banned. Like, and sometimes it's not about money for me. It's about the principle. I don't like stuff like that. Please don't. So now I have to teach people how to treat me, and I don't like that, because we're grown. Like, come on. But going forward, I'm getting rid of the $20 picture readings to knock all of that out. All right. Thank you guys so much. Bye.